Hi, Mike Brantley, auctioneer. I appreciate many of you auctioneers looking at the United States Constitution at my suggestion. Maybe it's the first time you read it. You did not find the right of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in the United States Constitution. You might have saw inferences to it, but that's in the Declaration of Independence. Now, you might find in a state constitution rights to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, but not the United States Constitution. So when you say the Constitution, I was assuming you were talking about the United States Constitution. Nonetheless, if you found it in a state constitution, good for you. And I pose the question, can you find the auction profession, auctioneering, the right to be an auctioneer in the United States Constitution? You could not find it. And the reason you couldn't the reason you couldn't find it is not there. It's just not there. However, there's a lot of occupations that aren't listed there. Is the right to be a doctor preserved in the United States Constitution? Can I be an accountant, an insurance agent, a massage therapist? Can I be anything per the United States Constitution? Well, we have freedom of the press. We have freedom of religion, which might qualify some religious work as to be unencumbered by the government. But really, quite frankly, most occupations are not protected expressly by the United States Constitution. So what's the issue then? As I was kind of kidding about, that it's not protected. Well, I was and I wasn't. I was kidding. I don't think you were kidding. You said, many of you said, that you have the constitutional right to work as an auctioneer. And I countered, I don't think you do. Matthew Parker pointed out that, well, there are not many occupations named explicitly in the United States Constitution, or any constitution for that matter, but that the courts, the United States Supreme Court, state Supreme Courts, other courts, use or are to use somewhat of a rational basis or rational test. For example, if a state said, well, we're going to let these hardware stores and beauty salons and other retail open up and invite people in, but we're not going to let you, Mr. or Mrs. Auctioneer, from having a live auction. And the auctioneers cry foul. Do they not? Didn't you? You said, wait a minute. You're allowing these people to get into a retail store. There's a big crowd at Walmart. There's a big crowd at Lowe's, at Home Depot, at all these other stores. But I can't have a live auction. They've got 1,000 people inside that store, and I was only going to have 100 people at my auction. That's not rational. Now, you maybe didn't characterize it that way, but that would be your legal argument. That's not rational. Here's what you're forgetting. It's not the number of people in the store. And in Walmart and in Lowe's and a Home Depot and a grocery store or otherwise, in the aisles, up and down the aisles of giant box stores and even some smaller stores, people are not standing all around one single item. Further, not a single item is sold at a time. So somebody's in the lawn and garden, they're looking at that stuff, maybe 2-3 people down the other aisle where the bicycles are, somebody's over in hardware, somebody's over in the fruits and vegetable section, 3 people are over buying shoes. But they're not all standing around that item. I've been an auctioneer almost 40 years, and I can tell you, anytime we have, whether you're interested in buying it or not, that one item that is pretty special, unique, highlighter item, star item that, well, we had an auction up near Cleveland, and the old glass bottles and vases and things like that were of particular interest to 2 people. And as soon as we started taking bids, we had, well, surprising interest in them. And what happened? All the crowd comes around, and we probably had 75 people standing around, immediately around that item. Is that a retail store? Do you have 75 people standing around one item in a retail store? Probably not. I would think not. Can you have 75 people crowded around a vase, a bottle, a tractor, a car, some sort of special equipment? I attended an auction in Indiana. They were selling casting machines. They had one casting machine bring well over $1 million. Where was everybody when that $1 million casting machine was selling? Right there. They want to be right there. They want to be part of the action. That's part of being at an auction. I want to be around the action. I want to be around the focus. And if a lot of people are participating or looking at or smelling or touching, or I want to be there. I think the rational test, given the argument that, well, this retail store is open, this big box store is open, versus my live auction is not open, fails. And I think it fails rightly. Because in that big box store, there are not people crowded around a single item at any one time. And those big box stores, grocery, hardware, what have you, can facilitate spacing, masks, hand sanitizer, what have you, plexiglass at checkout. Maybe there's self-checkout in a lot of those areas there are. Can they get checked out somewhat safely? Where were your buyers lining up to check out at your live auction last time, or the time before, or the time before, or 10 years ago? They all crowd around the table. They all crowd around trying to get checked out. I got a question. I got a mistake on my bill. I got to come back tomorrow and pick this up. Can I do that? Well, hold on. I'm trying to check this person out. Crowd control. Some of you auctioneers are telling me you can keep your bidders 6 feet apart. I want to see that. I really want to see that, because I don't think you can. I don't think you can. And when they get closer than 6 feet, do not social distance. Do not follow precautions that your state has laid out, the CDC has laid out, and other states have laid out. I think you're at risk. I think a bidder, attendee, buyer, person in that crowd, yeah, they should have known better than to come to your auction. Maybe you should have known better than to have a live auction. Mike Brantley, auctioneer. Pleasure to be with you today. Other videos on this same page, others forthcoming. Have a great day, and stay safe.